Hi guys, going to be looking today at the Cleito by Aspire, relatively new tank out. I love these. I'm a tank man, everybody knows I'm a tank man. I like the old Arctics, I like the way they produce, especially on the temperature side. Flavours out of them are fantastic, but these just, it's out the park with these things. These are just incredible. The flavour is totally immense. The construction of the coils are so different to any other thing out there. There's nothing out there that even matches this. A little short discussion with John after first initially trying these, and we were thinking that maybe the cotton is like a rayon type. There may be Clapton wires built into the coil there, but we weren't really unsure. We got word that there were Clapton coils, but no word on the wool that they used on the wick. So I'm going to strip one down. I'm going to find out for sure. But this thing kicks it out. I mean, this is a 0.4 that's in this at the moment before we do strip it out. It's been in a few days. It's not old by any means, and it still chucks out the flavour. 45 watts. Airflow is in half, as you can see, 45 watts. So let's take a look at it, see how it goes. Right, so we'll take a look at unboxing the Cleito. So in the box, you open it up, you get your Aspire warranty card. You also get, on the back of there, you get a set of instructions and your warnings. You get 4 silicone rubber caps, 4 different colours, and you get your Aspire tank protecting vape band. You get a spare glass. You also get a 0.2 coil, which is spare, which I'll show you. That's your 0.2 coil, and then you get your tank. Now inside the tank will come with a 0.4 coil. Okay. So these tanks strip down. You take the top off. You take your glass out, and you take your atomizer off. And they're your 4 parts, really basic 4 parts. Okay, we're going to strip a coil down, as we said before, to have a look. But that basically is the tank. The tank holds 3.5 millilitres of juice, top fill, airflow adjustment at the bottom, 4 big holes, and 4 huge juice ports. The tip, you can put your own drip tip in if you so desire. These are a bit difficult to get off, so they do come off, as you can see, and you can fit your normal drip tip in the top. Huge area there. This is just like a Delrin cap. Now these little rubber top caps fit on the top to stop anybody burning their lips if you're going to use these at higher wattage. John's ran these at 100 watts for a weekend, found no problems at all, except they got a little bit warm. But because I run mine at sort of 45 watts, I never find a problem with heat. They're still, they're still reasonably cool. It just pops on the top there like that. So that's the Aspire Cleito. So the first thing we do, we need to prime the coil. So we got our juice, which today for me is Rocket Man. Just whip the glass off there so we can prime this coil properly. And you can see inside it is quite a way down the tube to get your juice, but these prime fairly quickly, and there is instructions on the back of the paper to show you exactly what you should be doing. It also tells you to let stand for 3 minutes to make sure the coil's saturated, which is always good. So I think what we'll do now is we'll speed it up. So what we'll do now is we'll pop that back in to the base, make sure it's nice and firm. We'll pop the tank back on and then we will fill. Pretty straightforward filling, nothing too difficult. It's right to the top. Pop the top on. Put it on my trusty Cooper. Okay, so I'm going to drop the wattage down to around about the 34 watts. We'll give it a little vape. There's no dry hits there, so I'm quite happy with that. Even though this is fairly quick, I'm going to put this up to the 45 watts. Now I like these at 45 watts. What I also do like about, I mean, these will go up to, I've run these at 60 watts. I think John's run one over a weekend at 100 watts. Yeah, I think they can take it, but 45 watts for me is good. I also sort of back off the air. It's the very airy. So I always back off the airflow a little tiny bit at 45 watts. That produces quite a lot of flavour. Wow. Absolutely fantastic. Wow. And that's the Cleito, filled and primed. So what I'll do now is I'm going to strip down a coil to show you basically what the coil is like. Just to make note that this is a 0.4 atomizer that's in there. You get the 0.2 as well. Now the 0.2 will do a slightly higher wattage, but I found the 0.2 runs good at about 52, 53 watts. Same sort of principle. Just back the airflow off a little bit. But if you're going to go into the really high wattages, open your airflow right up. Higher the wattage, the more air is needed to keep things cool. The other thing to point out as well, these do spit. They're a Clapton style coil, which we'll go into in a second. They do spit until they do settle down. And they might take a few hours to settle down, but they do tend to spit quite a bit. There's no narrowing of the chimney there, that's straight to the coil. There's no messing about. So be aware, they do tend to spit a little bit, and they do tend to be a little bit hot if you're on higher wattage. But other than that, these are just excellent. So we'll take a look inside the coil. So this is one of the coil. This is an old coil. It's not actually done yet. It's not. It's only done a couple of hours, but for the sake of showing you what's inside them, what kind of wire is inside it, I'll strip it down. If I struggle, I'll just use a few tools. The wool appears to be like kokendo, or like a Japanese cotton. First of all, I thought this was like a rayon, but it is definitely it is definitely cork end or cotton. Now then, so you can see that, you'll see that it's a no resistant wire which is welded to the actual atomizer wire and then welded back to no resistance. And this is the bit, that bit there. I'll try and get it into focus. That bit there, between me two, that's the bit that heats up. Now, whether I can get close enough or not, I'll just take a little look. There. So it looks a bit like a guitar string, which is obviously why it's called a Clapton coil or Clapton wire, but it's flattened. It's not round. It's actually been pressed, so it's flattened Clapton. Update, guys, from me and the Robster.
How do?
It's not flattened Clapton coil.
It's not.
No, it's fused Clapton coil. Fused.
So there you can see the higher gauge wire wrapped around the two cores. If you can work that out, the two separate cores there. So yeah, fused Clapton.
Fused Clapton.
Good to know. Good to know.
Not flattened.
Not flat.
Which explains the superb flavour that these do produce. Clapton are renowned for flavour, no doubt about it. So that's the Cleito Tank. Hello. So that's the Cleito Tank. Flattened Clapton. It's not flattened Clapton coil.
It's not.
No. It's fused Clapton coil. Cork end or cotton, definitely. That's why it produces like it does. Quite happy. Just thick, white, big, fluffy clouds. We all know Rocket Man's high VG, so yeah, it's going to produce the clouds, but my God, these are good. The flavour. I mean, I drip Rocket Man, and wow, Rocket Man's good on a dripper, but this thing, it's dripper quality, no doubt about it. Even for a few days, it's dripper quality. 45 watts, so your little single battery units that you use at 45 watts is going to just produce. You don't need to kick it up to 70, 80 watts or whatever your unit will do. You don't need to. And I don't have the protected cap on the top. I'm not a lover of vape bands, so vape bands I don't use. I'm pretty careful. But I don't have there's no heat with that at all. I'm quite happy without the cap on it. So if you're wanting a little bit longer out your coils, I would recommend just around the 45-50 watt mark. Definitely. Uh, 3.5 mil juice capacity. Huge coils, huge chimneys, bit spitty when they're new, you get used to that, and it dies down anyway. It's a typical Clapton coil. It's fused Clapton coil, and they are Clapton, flattened Clapton coils. It's not flattened Clapton coil.
It's not.
No, it's fused Clapton coil with cork end or cotton, so that's why these are incredible. If you're a tank person, you need one of these. You need one in your collection. This is going to knock everything you've already got out the park. There's a pre-built, it's fused Clapton coil. These are incredible. The coils are no dearer than any other coil out there. The standard price of £3 per coil. The tanks are just shy of 20 quid. Penny less than 20 quid, 19.99. Well, 20 quid for a tank. And for what you get in the kit, it's unbelievable. I like to try and get as much out of my coils as I can.
Fused Clapton.
And I'll just see how this goes. I might be heading for over a week, which would be nice. The downsides, there isn't one. I can't think of one. They come in black as well. I quite like stainless steel, but you know, they come in black if you want a black one. Can't think of any downside. This is running at the 0.4 at the 45 watts. You do get the 0.2 in the kit. Fused Clapton. I've ran a 0.2 for a short time. It's not flattened Clapton coil. There's not a lot in it, to be fair. The 0.2s will just go a little bit higher on the wattage. You might need to use the cap. But other than that, really good tanks. So that's the Cleito by Aspire. The new tank by Aspire. Just thick, white, lovely clouds. But for me, the flavour is unbelievable. You need one of these if you're a tank person. Not flattened.
Not flat.
So take care, guys. Have a nice day. See you later. It's not flattened Clapton coil.
It's not.
No. It's fused Clapton coil.